So adding a really high level of detail to your renders can often feel like a very hard or even impossible task. And so what I want to do in this one is just show you some of the methods that I use to break it down into more manageable chunks and actually make it not that bad to make a render like this. So in about 1 minute, I'll do a live demo and actually create this render that you can see right here from scratch. Really quick before I do that, I want to lay out my process for doing this so that it makes more sense as I go into that. So the first thing I'll usually do is find some reference images of the kind of style that I want to go for. It doesn't have to be super specific. In this one, I was literally just finding pictures of boats and ships and docks and stuff because I wanted it to feel very industrial and I just wanted some ideas for the kind of shapes and pipes and kind of things I could use. And then I'll block out a basic scene in Blender just by adding cubes and doing some really basic lighting and a basic camera angle just to get some sort of idea of where I'm going to be. And then what I'll do often, not always, is I'll go in and model objects that I know are going to be repeated many times throughout the scene. So in this case, for example, since we're doing this industrial kind of render, I'm going to go and make things like railings and pipes and like industrial pieces that are going to be able to be duplicated a ton of times. So maybe I'll model it sometimes, and sometimes I'll just bring it in from the asset browser or buy a pack or whatever. It's up to you how you want to bring models in. In this case, I'll just model it from scratch so you can see me do that. And then by the end, I'll probably bring in some unique models or create some unique models myself just to break up the pattern of repeating models all over the place just so it doesn't look super duplicated. But most of the time, you can't even tell. Okay, so I think the best way to do this is just to demonstrate it. Let's try and make something similar to that render I was just showing you, and I'll just do kind of a fast version of that. By the way, if you want to download this blend file, it's free, link below. So let's start by blocking out the kind of area we want to work with. So let's just take this. Maybe I can just extrude this straight up. And let's just get a basic camera view set up. I think I want this to be probably like a landscape render, I guess, because it's going to be the thumbnail of the video. So we'll just do 1920 by 1080. Sorry, 1080. There we go. Let's do maybe like 24 millimeters. And let's go to here and let's point this more upwards. Let's increase that view distance to like 1,000 meters. And I think I want something like that. Maybe move this over here a little bit. And I want an opening at the top like I had in my original one. So we'll just do that like right there. Let's get, yeah, that seems like about kind of what I want. So that's good. So we'll leave that here for now. And the one thing I want to do first is just model some basic pieces. Now, I don't always do this at the beginning. Usually I might actually do a bit more of a blockout before this, but the process that I kind of followed in that one, which I'll try and recreate here, was the following. So let's start modeling some things from this random ship reference image I have here. In this one, I wanted a lot of really industrial feelings throughout the whole thing. So I was looking at a lot of pictures of like ships and oil rigs and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of little cool things here which I can reuse in an environment like this, which will be really handy. So let's start with this kind of pipe layout thing here, and let's make something like that. So I'm just gonna get a little platform to work off of. Then let's add a cylinder in here for one of the main pipes. Let's just rotate it this way. You can probably just leave it at sort of its default scale, maybe shrink it down a little bit this way. I'm gonna be going kind of fast here, but I wanna just demonstrate the concepts rather than each individual button I'm pressing. So for you, it might be a bit slower, but I just want to show you the basic idea here. So let's duplicate that. Maybe have a small one here, maybe a small one here, maybe another small one over here, and then maybe just another smaller one like up above over here or something. I don't know. Maybe another one this way. And what I can do on all of these is, first of all, let's shade them all auto smooth. Shade auto smooth. And let's just go in. Let's just add some edge loops in here like this. Let's bevel them all with one segment. And then let's Alt E and extrude faces along normal. So just push that outwards like this. That's nice. And honestly, on all these, I could probably just hit Control L and then link the object data from that one to all the other ones. And now we've got some like little pipe things going on like this. Let's maybe add some edge loops on this platform thing as well, just to kind of match up with that. We'll just bevel that and maybe just even take these faces here and extrude that up. So we'll just pull that up a little bit. And maybe on the sides, we can have something else. So let's maybe just encase this in the little thing. Let's just get a cube, scale this sort of to match our side here. I probably should maybe do this in here. Like I could have done this on the model. I guess we could do this. We could just extrude this out. And then this is not the greatest practice ever, but I'll just pull that up. And then let's just do a loop cut here and mirror that across. Now that is kind of messy geometry, but I'm okay with it. Okay, so we've got a little pipe thing we can work with. If I really want, I can go in and add like a little frame or something in here. Like, let's just quickly do this. I'm just kind of looking at what kind of shapes are in here and going off of what I think might fit in here. So we'll just do something like this. Let's just shrink it down this way. Let's take all these faces here and here. Let's inset. If I just apply scale first, inset, press I again to inset the individual faces. Extrude faces along normal, just pull that in just for this little holder thing. And then let's just put that a few times, maybe even randomly throughout here. And there we go, we've got a little pipe thing. Let's move on to something else, maybe a railing. So let's just do another cube. And let's just pull this up. And I'm just really roughly doing this, just making some low poly assets, which I know I can reuse throughout the whole thing. So let's get a little platform here. And to add railings, there's no one way to do this. I'll just do it this way. Let's just maybe take this face right here, duplicate that up, separate by selection, just P on the keyboard to bring up the separate menu, separate by selection. And let's go origin to geometry, just so it's not all weird. Let's maybe just duplicate that up a couple of times. We have a couple little things here, and then one at the top. And something like that'll be good. Maybe let's extrude this one out. And then I need a thing here. Let's just take any little piece here, just duplicate that out this way, separate that by selection, and then I'll just extrude it this way and extrude it this way, scale that up. You could also just add a cube if you don't want to create one from scratch like that. Let's go origin back to geometry. You can just do that by right-clicking as well, set origin to geometry. Let's line that up here, just kind of put this cube into roughly where the edge of the railing would be, like there-ish. Maybe move this over to make it fit a bit more. And then let's just use an array modifier to get that all throughout here. Maybe just rotate it so it's lining up like this, right? So, I don't know, let's do 20 something of these. And then just kind of scale it so that it almost matches. I guess I'll leave a space at the end there so it can connect properly when I join it all together. So something like that is just going to be a nice basic railing. It does not need to be super fancy or anything. I might just move this down to like there and then put these into place around here. Maybe have one more little thing up here. And then let's just kind of scale all those down a little bit. Okay, that seems reasonable. Let's join those all together. And the reason that was happening is because there's the modifiers on some of these, so I'll just apply all modifiers, and I think that should be good. So let's try that again. Join, sorry, one of them has to be active. There we go. And let's just get this across here. We'll just scale it by -1. Just kind of flip it around and then line it up there. And I actually want to duplicate this one more time just so we have a backup railing, just so I can use that in other pieces if I want to as well. Let's scale this down and maybe just apply scale. Let's, maybe we don't need to scale it down. Let's just join it right here. Okay, so we've got a railing, we've got pipes, we've got a separate railing. Let's do one more of just some little industrial little, I don't know what we would call this little structural holder container thing here. Let's just do that because it looks cool. So I'll just start with a cube. And let's just bring this over here. Now, I think I'll just scale it up this way. I'm going even faster here because I actually made pieces like this yesterday, so I kind of know what to do. But on my first try, it was slower than this, but I'm still going as fast as I can on my first try and just trying to get stuff out as quickly as I can. So what I'm going to do here, let me just explain what I'm doing. Let's add a couple of loop cuts, and then let's bevel those loop cuts, and then I'll just increase the number of segments by scrolling on the scroll wheel. So I'll just do 3. And that means I can just grab these bottom faces, pull those down, extrude them down, and then let's just take these top things, just kind of fit this into a nice little thing like that. Let's do a loop cut here, scale it by 0 on the Z axis, just so it's flat. And then we'll just have that right there. And then we can just take all these faces on this side. If you want to select all faces that are in line with this face in this same plane, you could just hit Shift G and then hit coplanar. That'll select any face that's kind of on the same plane as that face. And then same thing here, Shift G coplanar. And now we can just do, let's apply the scale so that all the proportions are right when we do this. Hit I to inset. Again, if you get a weird inset like this, just hit I again, and that'll do the individual faces. And then we could do something like that. And then to pull these in, we'll just extrude it. I'll just right click to cancel the transform and then scale it in on the Y axis like this. And there we go. We've got a little industrial piece. Now, something else I did in my render was I just duplicated this and made a little variation of it by duplicating it down onto itself. So I'll just do this here, just G, just snap that on there. That's the new snap controls when you press G and then B. Lets you actually grab individual vertices and snap those to wherever you want. That's a new feature. And now we've got a little thing like this. We can join that together. There's some overlapping faces, which we could get rid of. Just do a quick merge by distance. And then there's some faces in here, which I'll just delete as well. Okay, so we got that. And this could be a whole new piece if we take this and like rotate it and combine it with this other bridge thing. You know, let's use that grab vertex snap thing as well. And you can see that if we just kind of have a little thing like this, we can make some new pieces quite easily. So I'll just try and line this up. And there we go. Okay, let's just join these together. So that's a new piece. Join, and then we could even combine that with this pipe thing as well. So we'll duplicate that up. We can just make sure there's no modifiers on any of these, which I don't think there are. Oh, there's this one. Select all this, apply scale. It's not going to let me do that. We can just join it. Let's shade auto smooth. And there we go. We've got a little thing here. And we can also take some individual pipes and like separate this out into another asset if we really want. So we could take this, deselect all this stuff, just take these only, duplicate that, join it, maybe have one of these holder things in here as well. Let's just join those together. And we could even take this, and this is its own little piece we can use as well. Okay, so all that, we've got all these little pieces here now. Let's just start using these in the scene, and then I'll throw in a texture and kind of show you how we can use this to build a full environment. Okay, so first things first, let's just take any one of these pieces. So maybe let's just take this pipe thing. Let's duplicate that in here, and let's just rotate it this way. And let's just start getting this in here. I'm going to open this up just to have a rendered view as I'm working on this. I can probably move my reference kind of off to the side here. And let's just put this over here. Let's use an array modifier to just increase the height of this. I might just apply scale and rotation. And then we can just get a few of those going upwards like this. It's okay if it kind of goes through the top. So we do one here, here, and here. That looks nice. We could duplicate these two pieces, rotate 90 degrees, put it against this wall, and maybe let's just do that one more time. I'm doing it kind of messy on purpose because I want it to feel a bit more, I don't know, less rendery and more kind of random and industrial. So I'm fine not having these all offset at the same amount. So it's kind of cool. Let's take some platforms. So let's do that bridge thing we had earlier. I'll put that in here. And let's just have that going this way. Let's use an array again and just have it kind of go like this. And maybe just duplicate that a few times over itself. And already we're getting tons of detail in here, which is quite nice. Maybe let's rotate that 90 degrees, kind of have it offset this way. That's nice. And then let's do that couple other little things we got in here. We just put some pipes in here and just kind of mix up what we have going on. Just make some of these platforms feel a bit different than the other ones. So again, array modifier, just get the orientation right. What is it? This way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and we could scale this one way down and make it like way longer as well if we wanted. So we'll have that there. We could even do a few more, honestly, just kind of duplicate that a few different times throughout here and just get even more little pieces that feel unique, even though they're not. What else have we got here? We've got this thing. Let's take this thing and put it in here. rotate it 90 degrees. Again, I just want to get it into a line, so we'll just do an array modifier, increase that a few times, maybe just 3 times. And let's just have that stacked on top of itself a couple of times as well. And we could just have that kind of there somewhere. And if we want to be sitting on something, might make more sense to use this one in the other versions we do. So let's just have that in here. Let's just increase the exposure so you can really see what is going on here. We need more detail above us. So let's just have one of these things down here, just kind of coming through the wall a little bit. Doesn't really matter what's there as long as it's something. And let's maybe, duplicate this, rotate 90 degrees. Maybe put it this way, I don't know. And let's just use an array modifier on that. And maybe we could have this one going a bit more sideways. So let's just increase the count. And let's have this one holding up a big platform or something. So let's have that there. Have another one, this way. Maybe let's just have 2 next to each other. So we'll have like 2 of these beams. Let's make it a little bit smaller, increase the array amount. And let's just have that there. Let's duplicate that this way. And it might make more sense to have it facing this direction. Or maybe not, I'm not sure. And we've got to kind of figure out what the best way to put this is. I'm not sure, but maybe just have it above it like this. That kind of works. And then let's have a little platform in there. We could just take this thing. This can be our platform. Let's just rotate it 90 degrees this way. Just scale it up. Put it like over here somewhere. Maybe these things can be holding up a little platform here. And it's not really making that much sense. It's kind of a bit of a sketch right now. Nothing is connecting up that properly, but it's okay. As long as it looks like it works, it's really all that matters in artworks like this. Let's take another one of these and scale that up on the, I'm doing S, Shift Z to just increase the X and Y scale. So we'll have that there. Maybe just scale it down this way a bit too. And that can go there. And I like where this is going. On these walls too, we can just add more loop cuts and do some insets and extrusions as well if we want. So maybe let's just take all these faces here. Let's just do a few loop cuts this way. And we'll just take, I guess, this entire thing, all these faces. Let's just inset all of those. Let me make sure I apply the scale first. Inset all these, and then let's just do an Alt-E, extrude faces along normals, and just pull all those out. And that'll just create even more detail just on the back side of this, which is nice. And we need a texture. So let me go into Polyhaven. Let's just go to the Polyhaven add-on. That'll just be the quickest, easiest thing for this demonstration. And basically, I just need something very simple. Any kind of metal texture is going to work here. So let's just go in here and search for metal. And a rust might work. This might work. Pretty much any just basic grungy kind of material is going to work, I think. Let's take this one. Let's just drop it on here. And let's select actually every single object because I want all these objects in here right now to have this material. So let's just hit Control L material, and we need to unwrap it. I'm going to do it. I don't advise you do it this way, especially if you're making assets that you want to reuse in future scenes or sell or put into a game or have set up properly. But just for this demonstration, I'm going to do this in the laziest, easiest way possible. And that is to select everything in edit mode all at once and hit U and then cube projection. And that'll just cube project everything all at once. And if it is not lining up properly, you can actually go into the UV editor and just do that multiple times. And that will actually fix it. So that's good. Let's just scale that up. And now we've got a rust texture just somewhat cleanly over everything. It's not going to be perfect. And it's certainly not going to be a great way to do it. Again, if you're trying to like create really high quality assets, but just to get something out quickly, this is the way I'm going to do it. One thing I might do is just go onto the railing here. Let's select this, and I hope these are linked duplicates. I don't think they all are, but just so I can hopefully get at least one that's a bit more unique. I'm going to take this railing, and I'm just going to make this a different material. So let's just take all this, hit Control L, and same thing on these. I'll just select these, Control L, just to make sure I'm selecting all the linked geometry. Let's go in here onto the object settings. Let's just make, I might just take the the roughness and normal map. I'm just going to copy that. Let's make a new texture and just assign it. We'll just have it on like white or gray or something. And then let's just paste in that normal map and that roughness map from the metal texture. But leave the color white. And let me just make sure I've assigned that to this material, or to this section here. I don't know if that's showing up. Looks like it is. I just might make it a bit brighter. And anything with a railing, I'm just going to try and link back to this object here. So this thing, I duplicated a few times, so I'm just going to hit Control-L, object and data. Same thing if it shows up anywhere else here. You can't really see it anywhere else, so it's not really a problem. I guess on here, this one is, so Control-L, object and data, just so that something shows up there. Now we need a bit better lighting. The first thing I'm going to do is add some volume. So we'll just do a cube over everything. Scale that up just to cover our whole environment. We'll go new texture, delete this, add in a volume scatter node. So if you scroll in and out, it'll refresh the density. It's way too high right now, so we'll just do 0.001 to start. Maybe a bit higher, even 0.005. That's nice. Increase the anisotropy a bit. It's always nice. And I'm going to increase the volume light bounces underneath the light path settings in cycles right now. So that's good. Let's get this out of the way. So we'll just go into here, viewport display as bounds, and then let's add a proper light in here. So right now we're just getting light from the environment, which is just white. I don't really like that. I'm just going to turn that down a bit. And I'm going to add an area light in here just to get a bit of directional control on where this is lighting it up. So we'll just do some amount of brightness. It's maybe a bit too much. Just take out any digit there. Increase the size of that area light, and let's just try and position this to get some nice reflections and lighting in this little industrial environment. And if it feels like it should be taller, I think I might just extend this up. We'll just cube project that there, and then let's just take every single object and duplicate it upwards. So we'll just take all this stuff, try not to have the camera selected, and then let's just literally Alt-D, move that up, and then rotate it 90 degrees. We might not even have to rotate it, actually. I could probably just get away with duplicating it straight up. Maybe rotate it this way, if we really don't want any repetition. But I actually kind of like it more this way. That's kind of cool. Okay, and then there's an area light that got duplicated. We'll just take that one out, and maybe just put this one back in here. Now this is the stage I'll spend the most time on, is the lighting and camera angle, and just trying to get the light to reflect off in the way that I want. It's quite tricky, but it just takes some messing around with it. It's really all it is. So maybe let's just bring that down. Let's maybe make this maybe a bit more blue or something. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe make this opening a little smaller, I don't know, or bigger. And I like what is happening here. I think I want some other lights in here as well. So maybe let's just do a spotlight or any kind of light shining upwards. So we'll just increase that to like something. Just increase the blend and spot size. Maybe just take that down a bit. That's quite a lot. And I don't want it to be super bright. I just want it to be lighting this up a little bit like that. This could even be like orange or red or something. Might be nice. Okay, let's give this a render and just see what it looks like. Okay, so after running this through Photoshop, here's what it looks like, the end result. And one thing I love doing in Photoshop is increasing the clarity slider inside of the camera raw filter. One of the many reasons I like Photoshop, but you can see that really does help bring out all the details in renders. As long as you don't push it too high, it usually looks really nice. So anyways, I hope this helps demonstrate the concepts that I'm trying to show here, that getting a ton of detail isn't too bad if you just break it down piece by piece, duplicate things a lot. Definitely don't be afraid to buy packs and download free packs, and reuse previous assets you've already made, and just don't be afraid to just do whatever you can to get detail in there quickly. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Oh, and again, if you want to download this blend file, there's a link below.